with another quick tabletop. This video is going to be a little more brief than usual. I wanted to talk about 1911 trigger upgrades, specifically, like the factory grade 1911s. Your Springfield mil specs, your sort of production line Colts, your TSOS guns, the parts box guns, right, where they just kind of throw them together. They're not hand fitted, anything like that. I wanted to talk about how to do a very functional trigger job that takes just a few minutes and can dramatically improve the way the pistol shoots and feels in your hand. Sometimes people think the word trigger job means that like you're going to be, stoning seers and stuff. That's a type of trigger job. But there's two parts you can buy that can really dramatically change the trigger of your sort of factory parts box style 1911. So, and that's what I have here. So you can see this trigger's a little longer than your average trigger. This is the one that came in it. This is a short A1 style trigger. And I changed it out for a Harrison Design. I really love this company. Harrison Design medium trigger. I'm just such a huge fan of everything they do. Their stuff is such high quality and it's just so functional and tasteful. I really love those guys. I probably have bought like 6 or 7 of these medium solid triggers. So the one I like is medium. It's smooth, it's solid. There's no like, there is an adjustment screw that it comes with for over travel, but it's in the back, so you don't have a hole up front, which is kind of nice. So anyway, the first thing you can do to dramatically improve the way your trigger feels on a parts box 1911 is upgrade your actual trigger. So this TSOS trigger, when it came, it was fine. It's a factory 1911. It's, it's a good trigger, but it's not, it's not perfect per se. It's nothing to write home about. And the reason for that was it's not the sear and the hammer that comes with it. It's not that it needs a sear job. It's that the way this trigger is pulled, this dimension here has too much play in it. Now there's a jig you can buy to open this up, and that's a little more complicated. But essentially that's your problem, is as you're pulling this trigger to the rear, there's all this play. And as the poundage and tension is building on your trigger, there's a lot of movement. And when it finally breaks, the break is just not very satisfying because of all this movement in that trigger slot, okay? So when you get a Harrison, now these come slightly oversized, so you may have to very gently, with a very fine stone, you may have to take off this dimension here and this dimension here. Okay, just a little bit here. Shouldn't have to take off really any on the sides, but maybe you will. Depends on your gun. But what this did, and I do have a snap cap in here. What this did is there is no play in that trigger. Maybe like a 0.5 millimeter, right? Up and down, you can hear it, very little. But the trigger pull to the rear is super smooth. And it makes my break very predictable, very crisp. And that's just from the trigger, nothing else. The reason I chose this gun to use this example is that's the only thing I did on this particular pistol. It's got the factory sear and the factory hammer in it, and they work fine. All it needed was this upgraded trigger bar. Okay, so that is the first way to dramatically improve the trigger pull on your 1911. Now, if you want to stay with this style, you can do one of two things. You can get the trigger jig and actually open up this dimension here, or you can go to Harrison Design and just get you a short trigger, right? It may not be textured in the front like this one is, so, but yeah. So that's the first thing you do. The second thing you can do is change your sear. I recommend Wilson Combat Factory Plus. I'm a big fan of this sear, and actually I bought this one to put in this gun because pretty much every parts box 1911 I get this is the first thing I do. It's not that the sears that come with these are bad at all. That's not the reason. It's because this takes a sort of janky, smushy trigger to a much more crisp, predictable trigger in every 1911. I don't know what magic they do with these sears, but it actually says in their advertisements that this sear will return your 1911 to a factory trigger. But it's like a quality factory plus, hence the name, I guess. So this is really easy to do. It requires no fitting or anything like that. You should be able to just drop this in your gun, boom. So the combination of these two things, just changing out your trigger bar and your sear, you go from a kind of loosey-goosey, janky trigger, still good, crisp, it's a 1911 trigger, but it goes to like a really tight, predictable, crisp trigger. And you don't have to do any dangerous sanding, you know, trying to get that edge bevel just right or anything. So really easy upgrade, will really change the character of your pistol and its performance and in its feel. These triggers are about 35 bucks from Harrison. You can find them on Brownells. The Factory Plus sears are like 15 bucks. And you can find these on Midway, Brownells, all the parts websites. So that's all I've got for you today. I just wanted to tell you, man, listen, if you get one of these TSOS guns, or even if you've got an old Springfield or a Colt or anything like that, don't feel like you got to go pay for some expensive trigger job. Try out a nice quality trigger bar, throw in a Factory Plus sear from Wilson Combat, and see how it feels. I think you'll be happy. All right, we'll see you on the next one.